Hi everyone, this is Dr. Ramandeep Kaur. Welcome to my channel Adept to Teach. I'd be covering the following topics under software testing. Please subscribe my channel to receive the updates and click on the bell button for notifications. If you like the video, then consider commenting and sharing.
The test case should include the test ID, whatever new, any type of testing you are going to perform, whatever test case you are writing. Every test case gets a unique ID, so it differs from the new test case. For example, my one test case could be for when I'm writing gmail.com on Google Chrome, whether it is it is showing the website or not, the home page of that particular GUI or not. That can be one test case with one unique ID. The second test case could be when you are giving username and password to the login page, whether it is accepting or not. If you are giving inputs correct, then it should be able to redirect you to the home page. If your input is incorrect, then it should be redirected on the same page. So that is the second test case with a different unique ID. The reason being, when you are making different types of test cases, the same test cases would be shared with next level developers also. So what has been done, what should not be done again, the redundancy should not be there. So this type is to be recorded. Next part is module ID. So whatever you are going to check, every module will be given a unique ID. Now first I'll discuss what is a module. Now if let's say you are looking at, again I'll say Gmail, then first module is your login. Whatever different categories of screens you see, you call it as a different module. So first module would be your login module. Second may be your inbox. Third may be your sent item. Next may be your profile setting. So these are different modules. So whenever you are testing which part of the software. We call it as different modules that you are testing. So every module will also be given unique ID. So what module you have tested, that ID of the module and the name of the module has to be incorporated when you are writing the test case. Next is project ID. This module belongs to which project and for which project you're going to test it. Now I'll vary my example. Let's say you are the developer of MS Office. Now MS Office has different major modules like Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, Publisher, and so on. So let's pick one module, which is MS Office. Now that MS Office is also divided into several sub modules. Like at top, you see home section, then you see the start button where you have different types of options. Then you see insert tab. Every tab in itself is a sub module. So one person might have coded for home, one person might have coded for insert tab. Now when you are testing it, so home tab will have a separate module ID and the test case ID for home tab will be different. Now all of them belong to one common project, that is MS Office. So they will be given under MS Office. This is the module name and module ID, and this is the test case ID. Now when you will combine all the major modules, again you will have a new test ID, you will have a new module ID. Now your module ID will be when you will start integrating them, and you will have a different project ID. That project ID will be from the name of MS Office. Then who is the tester? For every test case, to whom this test case is been assigned to. When the tester identifies a problem, that problem is assigned to which developer for correction, which debugger for correction. So who is the tester? And if the problem comes up, the errors comes up, these errors would be assigned to which developers. That also has to be written here. Next is date and time on which the testing will be performed and time at which the testing will commence. This is how the test case looks like. Just look at the left side where I have given an example of MS Office. So the entire project name is MS Office. Out of that, we are testing for only Excel. Your project name is MS Office. Okay. Then your project ID for the entire project MS Office is this. The module that you are testing is MS Excel and the module ID is MSE. E stands for Excel 101. Now combine module ID with your project ID. You will be able to find the exact test case ID. So the first part is of test case ID, your project ID, and the second part is of your module ID. This is how we identify which project, which module. Okay. The next example is of how we make a test plan. So whenever we are planning for the test case, we have to write the information pertaining to what is the introduction, what is the entire project about, what is the scope of the project, what is the objective of testing for this particular software, what environment you are going to run this project into, what are the tools required for performing testing, what modules you're going to test, what modules you will omit as of now. What is the exit criterion? Now there are three criterions here. First is an exit criterion, second is a pause criterion, third is resume criterion. Exit criterions means on what circumstances you will test no more. Maybe one example is at least you should run the same test case 5 times if the problem occurs. When the number of errors are less than 20 and the severity is less than, let's say, 10, then you will stop the project. Or the demand of the project has changed, this project has been removed, this module has been removed, so you will no more test it. That may be an exit criteria. Or the person who was given this particular project could not execute it, then at for that particular point of time you will stop, you will pause the testing, and when another person is given the same test case you will resume the testing. Another reason when you can pause or resume, maybe for some inputs that you are giving to the system, you want to see now how it is running line by line. So you run one line, you want to identify from where this problem is occurring, and you want to go back to the code. You have an option of running line by line to see at what variables are getting what values when you are doing programming. So when you want to propose, when do you want to resume, or when do you want to totally exit? So one exit criteria is when you are thorough with your entire testing. So now you are exiting it. No more errors are there, or no more new test cases can be included. Now this is how a test case template at times look like. So you will have a test ID. Now there are two categories, two parts into which the test case is divided. One part is called before the execution, another part is called after the execution. So before the execution, you have to give a liner that what is the purpose of testing? Why are you testing login screen? Your intention is to check when the username and password is correct. At that time, you are able to go to the home screen. If the username or password, either of the one is incorrect, the system should go back to the original screen. If the password entered is incorrect for 3 times, the account should be logged for 24 hours. This is the purpose of testing. Then precondition for checking the login screen is at least you should have typed www.gmail.com and your screen should have been opened, and you should have a valid account with Gmail. That is a precondition. Only then you can check for login screen. So you have to write the preconditions. Inputs, username, password is an input. Expected output, if username password combination is correct, your home screen is, you are directed to your home screen. If either of the one is incorrect, then you are redirected to the same login page. If your password is incorrect for 3 times, then your account gets blocked. These are different variety of outputs. Post conditions, when you gave username and password as correct, you should be able to see your home page, and whatever are the options that are available in your home page should be visible to you. That is a post condition. This test case is written by whom and on what date? This has to be recorded. So this was prior to the execution of the test case. Maybe some other person has written the test case and someone else has been assigned to run this test case. Execution history. When you will execute the program, when you will execute the test case, you will be able to get a summary of that. Then you have to write the result, whether the test case passed or the test case failed. If the test case fails, what is the possible reason? Sometimes you might know the reason if you have worked as a developer and now you're working as a tester. So you have an inclination towards both the cases. You know how the why this particular test case would have failed. But if you are just a tester, you have no prior knowledge of development, then you might not be able to write what is the exact problem. Any other observation that, let's say, when you are going to a particular screen, it should have done this, but this is not happening. The output should have come in 3 seconds, but it is taking 10 seconds. Any other observation you would like to write here? Any suggestion? If you want for improvement of the program or the look of the program or the GUI of the program. Next is who has run the program. That person is important, and what is the date on which this test case was executed.